Accra Regional Hospital, and operations there, if everything has begun there, was formerly the Ridge Hospital. So let's just move over to this side of the studio to get a better understanding of that. Now, the Ridge Hospital, now known as the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, was commissioned 2 months ago by the then President John Dramani Mahama, and 2 months on, the hospital is not being used. Now, the authorities at the hospital blame it on procurement checks. They say during their procurement checks, they were unable to notice certain things, unable to see certain equipment that were not at the hospital. Let's just give you a better understanding of this to take a look at the actual equipment that are not at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Now, these equipments are actually needed for operations. They're needed for everything that the Greater Accra Hospital would be handling its customers with. Now, traction tables, skeletal traction bed tent sets are unavailable. Electric power drills are unavailable. Battery power drills are unavailable. Now, like I said earlier, one might ask, how come they didn't notice this at the beginning when they were actually getting it commissioned? But they say during procurement, they didn't notice that these equipments were unavailable. Aside equipments that are not available at the hospital are equipments that are missing at the hospital. Some of those are drill bites, tapes, spikes, bone holding forceps, bone holding retractors, and all these machines and equipment are actually needed for various operations, skeletal operations and others. So let's give you more on this, because the expanded and refurbished Greater Accra Regional Hospital is still not operational 2 months after its commissioning. Aside some structural defects which need to be rectified on the facility, some equipment and instruments required for various specialists to use have not been supplied. Portia Gabo has more.
On November 30, 2016, former President John Mahama inaugurated the first phase of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, formerly the Ridge Hospital. The facility was expected to start receiving patients from January this year. The refurbished hospital, which cost $250 million, was also to be equipped with modern facilities and expanded to a 420-bed capacity to provide quality and expand access to healthcare delivery. 2 months after its commissioning, the facility is yet to be operational.
Found out that there weren't equipment for the neurosurgeon to work on. We found out also that the pediatric surgeon didn't have equipment to operate. The orthopedic surgeons likewise. Even common orthopedic beds for traction and then the rest, we found out that they were not among the equipments. We just found out that also the MRI hasn't got a workstation. The anesthesia school has a simulator machine. We realized that the one they brought was not up to the standard of what we requested for them to bring. So we've made the list of all these things and have handed it over to the project manager, including the project implementation committee, to look at it and to ensure that these things come in time so that we are able to start.
Dr. Thomas Anaba also said some equipment are yet to arrive due to lapses discovered during the procurement process, adding management has informed the project implementation committee and project manager about some structural defects on the facility.
We are beginning to see certain defects with the rains and then the rest, and our health and safety manager has done his assessment, what we call snagging, and has come out with certain points, certain things for them to correct before we move in, like the AC, like the door traps and several other things, and we've submitted it to them to work on them quickly. Even including the entrance, there's some water that gets stagnant when it rains.
I asked Dr. Thomas Anaba when the facility will be operational.
We hope that they will be able to bring all this equipment within this month and test it, and we try them, and then hopefully next month we'll have an operational commissioning.